Okay, I'm going to start, and I'm recording the meeting. So, and I will post. I'll put it up on YouTube and then post a link later, so you can look at it if you need to look at it again, or if you weren't here. And I think it records what I do. So I think it only records the groups that I visit. So I think that's the way it works. So, still letting a couple of people in. So I'll do that, and then I'll start. I think that's it. I think it depends on from where you log on, but some people can just join without being admitted, and other people I need to admit. Okay, so I'm going to just begin with a few announcements, and then I want to talk about what we're going to do today. And I'm going to announce the project today, but I'm not going to have it ready until Thursday, and I'll tell you why. So I wanted to go over it just to introduce the idea today. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to talk about WebAssign, just check in with you to see how that went. And then I'm going to introduce what we're doing in 7.1, 7.2. You should have seen the video for that. And then I will, I'll sort of give you the big idea of what we're doing. And then as usual, we'll break into groups. And my hope is that about 7, that we'll end about 1:45, and that other people that want to stay on and work on the handout or ask me questions. I contacted a couple of you about getting in touch after class. We can use that time from after class ends. I'll still stick around for those questions, and if people are working on groups, and I can also answer questions, individual questions about anything at that point as well. Okay, so I don't know if other people at Drake are doing this, but there was a national call today for teachers to strike sort of in response to the issues related to Black Lives Matter, particularly the killing and the killings this summer in Rochester and in Minneapolis, and also what happened in Kenosha. And I'm not going to strike in the sense of not having class. I don't know if other professors you have are doing that. I don't know what their participation at Drake is, but a couple of assignments we have are directly related to issues of social justice. And so what I was going to do is the first assignment, I was going to talk about it and to sort of tell you what it is. Then on Thursday, we'll actually have the actual assignment ready, and you'll have about like 10 days to do it. So it'll be due not the following Tuesday, so not next Tuesday, but the 22nd. So 2 weeks from today. So, and again, I'll announce it formally on Thursday, and you'll have it ready to do. And it'll be a group assignment, and I'll talk about what that entails as well more on Thursday, though I can answer questions today. And if you have, I'd be interested if other of your professors today are talking about this, the action, the strike. You can just send it on chat, or if you have other comments related. And so there's a couple of things that have been in the that I want to introduce. So I'm going to start by sharing a screen which will introduce the project, and I'll show you what we're going to do, and then on Thursday you'll have the actual questions. So I'm going to share the screen right now. And you should be seeing a web page, and it should say Fatal Force at the top. If you're not seeing that, let me know and I'll adjust it. Okay. So I don't know if people are familiar with this, but the Washington Post, ever since the killing of Michael Brown, has kept a database of all people that have been shot and killed by police. And it's very hard to get that information in a central source because there's no one government entity that keeps it. So the Washington Post has been taken upon themselves to research, look in the news, find tips from people, and to try to compile a database of all the shootings. And so we're going to do a couple of projects linked to that. One of them is just going to be to look at the database itself and understand a little bit about it. And the second one is going to look at the disparity demographically between the police killings of people of color and white people. So and we'll build assignments that are linked to themes that we're doing in class. And then when we get to exponential and logarithmic topics later in the course, we may do a topic, a project that's going to be based on data from the CDC regarding the pandemic, because that's also an exponential phenomenon. Again, we don't know enough about that. But so this database, it keeps a track of every police killing, and it talks about the person, that names the person, and it has demographic information upon them, whether they were armed or unarmed, what they were armed with, where it took place, their age, and if available, their race. And so we're going to talk more about those issues in the follow-up to this project. But I just wanted to introduce this database now. It's a good resource, and it's maintained by the Washington Post. And it's just called Fatal Force. So if you Google, I'll just put this in the database. I mean, in the chat, so you can copy it from there. And there's some mathematical issues involved in this. And so what I want to do is, I'm not discounting the human issues, because the purpose of this is to familiarize yourself with this so you can actually get the information yourself. And then we'll look at some of this information based on stuff we're studying in this class. So I'm just going to scroll down, and here's the first thing that we're going to study. And if you look at this is a graph, and it's graphs from between 2015 and 2020 of police killings over the course of the year. And notice, so down here you have the month, and then here you have the cumulative number of people killed. So every year starts at 0, and if we look up here, it says 219, 999. That means at the entirety of 2019, 999 people were killed by police. And the first thing that we're looking at right here is the graphs of the last 5 years. And this graphic isn't great at differentiating the years. It shows 219 in black, and then it shows 220 so far in that, I guess, orangey color. And so again, these are cumulative killings. So like if you go to this data point right here for 220, that says, this should be today, so September 8, that would mean as of September 8, 679 people died at the hands of police in 2020. And so it's a cumulative total. And if you look at this, what's remarkable, and they discuss it a little bit, is that it's pretty much the same totals every year. And you're going to see that every year looks like a line. And so it's what's called a linear phenomenon. And so what the project is going to do is get you to model these graphs using the data. And I'll make all this really easily accessible, so you don't have to go through the database or anything like that. So the project next week, that I give out next Thursday, that will be due 2 weeks from today, will be based on modeling this data that's here. So the aggregate data, and the fact that it's a linear phenomenon is relevant to the course. And then this is also an entry into this database, so you understand what it is, and then we can look into it in more detail to examine sort of some of the details about the demographics and the race of people that are killed. And I'm going to talk more about that for the second or third project. So any questions so far about what I'm showing right now? And I'm going to show you the database in a minute, just so it's an Excel spreadsheet, and you can download it, and I can make it available, and I'll probably post it just so you have it as a spreadsheet. And you could use this for projects and other courses as well. I remember looking through this after the police killed somebody that had a toy gun, a black woman who was like 14, to see if that had happened before with white people, and it hadn't. So I kind of really spent a lot of time on the database looking through that. And so there's a lot of interest. I think there's a lot of information in here. And so again, what you're gonna do for the project is model those lines and look at the database just a little bit, just to introduce you. And then we're gonna look at this phenomenon in a later, we'll talk about how to model this information and where it comes from. Because again, it's linear information. It's based on a line later on for a second project. So I'm going to switch and just show you the database just to show you how it's set up. And I have it as an Excel spreadsheet. And so I'm going to share that. And you should be seeing, it says fatal police shooting data. And this has the data from 2015 on. And I sorted this by just sort of what the weapons that people had. And I was looking at the unarmed, particular about the unarmed, the people that were unarmed, and looking a little bit about what happened. And so and as you notice, it gives you the number based. Sorry, I lost my cursor for a second. Here, let me get this so I can see it. But the database has the if you look at the very top, you can see what the categories are. It tells you the name, the date, the manner of death, whether the person was armed and what they were armed with, the age, the gender, the race, the city, the state, and some other information about that. You know, what the threat level was, whether people were fleeing or not. So really, it's full of really, really detailed information. So I just wanted to show you that. And again, we're not going to use that database there for the project. We may use it for a subsequent process, but I'll make things that are readable, so you won't have to worry about that. Okay. 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 So any questions about that? I'm going to go on with the class, but just again, if anybody has any comments, you can unmute yourself, or you can respond to the class. And again, I'm wondering whether other people are doing anything special today, other faculty. I've talked to a few that are, but I'd be curious to hear what your experience is. Okay. About the project, it'll be a group project. And again, I'll have a rubric and explain how that works. I've done this in other classes at this level before. And basically you'll have like 3 to 4 people working on a project. You'll submit one answer, and I'm going to suggest ways that you divide up the work. And then you'll also comment upon how the other people in the group did. These groups will be set up in Blackboard, so they're permanent, and permanent meaning for the life of the project, and you can collaborate with one another. And I'll go through Blackboard on that day to show you where they are and how to use it. It'll be using the groups. I've set up some groups, but those are kind of outdated since some people had joined the class and some left. So I'll set up new groups, but there'll be groups of 3 or 4. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So I'm going to go to the matter at hand for the class. But again, I think this database is something everybody should know about. If you're wondering how to make sense of what's going on, what really is going on, you can look in here and you can find all kinds of individual stories to see what happens. And you can find even details. Sometimes you can sort of look the stuff up in other places and find out more details. So if you're in another course, this could also be a completely different kind of project than what we're doing. Okay. So just a couple of, I wanted sort of debrief WebAssign. I'd be interested either you can break in and say something, or send a message to know if you had any problems. I have a couple of things to say, so you can break in when I'm talking, or send something on the chat, and I'll be sure to answer it. But there's an Asked by Prof button, and I thought it automatically pinged me when somebody asked a question, and I discovered, and this is my fault, so I'm not making any excuses, that it didn't. And so yesterday I went and made an attempt to answer. I did answer everybody's question about that, and I apologize for not responding. Now I have it set so it pings me automatically, and so I can see questions that you have, and that will alert me to go into WebAssign. You can pose the question there, and as I mentioned in the email I sent to the class and the announcement I posted, please tell me the number of the problem. Give me a screenshot of the problem if you can, because they changed the numbers on some of the problems. Tell me what your progress was, and tell me where you got stuck, like what you have a question about, especially on a multi-person. And that way we can engage in a dialogue. And usually the way that I like to do this is, if it's a simple question, like there were a lot of questions about simplifying square roots, I think it was before we discussed it in class. And so I just answered and addressed the question individually. But sometimes if it's a deep question, I may ping you and say, let's meet and talk about this. And it could be spur of the moment meeting, could be during an office hour. But I'm happy to answer any questions, and that's a good way to ask it. So it's ask your teacher, I think, and just click that and I'll get pinged. And that's a good way to start the conversation. Obviously, if you do that on the night that the problem's due, I'm not always in my email, probably after 8 or 9 at night, so I may miss it if it's last minute. So the best thing to do is to work early and often on WebAssign, and that way you can get questions done. And I haven't looked over all the scores yet. I'll do that and probably have some comments. So any questions about that? And again, you can just email me too if you have a question, or you can bring it to class. The next WebAssign will be due, I think I set the due date for Saturday, kind of in recognition of the fact that we got, this one was, I pushed it back a couple of times as people were having trouble, getting enrolled. Okay. And the next one is going to be what we did last Thursday and what we did today. So you'll have time to think about it, ask me questions about it, read, look at the video again if you need to, and go and answer the questions. And we'll do some questions in class on the handout that are similar to some of the WebAssign questions. Okay. And then, I've still noticed a couple of people haven't signed up, and you can get the free account. If you go to the WebAssign section of the Blackboard course, it has instructions. As far as I know, the instructions work. There's 2 codes you need. You need your personal code, and you get that. It should be with your purchase of the product. And sometimes it's not easy to find, or it should be if you bought it digitally, they should have given you your access code. And then you need the class code, which is on WebAssign. It's on Blackboard in the WebAssign section. So if you haven't signed up yet, please do so. And if you have any questions about signing up, please get in touch with me. I walked one student through it. We shared screens. I was able to get that person signed up, and I'm happy to do that. But you have to contact me so we can set up a time to meet. So somebody else told me that they had ordered the book and it hadn't come in yet, and so their grace period, 14-day, expired. I emailed WebAssign to see if I could get that extended. Is anybody else in that position waiting for the book from the bookstore? And again, the code should be with the material you have. If you can't find the code, you can sign up for the guest account for 14 days, then that gives us time to find the code. Okay, so anything else about WebAssign? And I did relax some of the parameters. I dug around and tried to relax them even more than I did before. So hopefully, and I also, and this is my fault too, that I dug around the settings, and there's a setting where it can say that syntax errors don't count as a submission. And so I changed that. So for subsequent assignments, that shouldn't happen. So if you don't give them the right format, it should say, tell you that it's not the right format. Okay. Somebody said that let me just respond to that. My question is, do you have your book yet? By book, I mean, it could be the ebook, it could be the digital version, it could be the loose leaf. Oops, I think I sent that to somebody privately. It was on ignore that. I wasn't asking you that, I meant to ask that to the class. So here, let me ask that again. And what I'm trying to figure out is if the bookstore, we gave them the numbers and we actually had fewer people sign up for the courses than we thought. So I don't know what the issue is. Like I say, okay, the access code should be with the digital copy. It should be in the materials that you got from them. So you should be able to sign up. again, you might want to talk to me and then we can go through this together. Okay. And these are things I need to know about. So if there is an issue, I can, like if you didn't get your access code or something, I can help you solve that. Or if somebody else knows where to find the digital access code, you could let Aiden know. Okay. I want to introduce the material and then we'll go into the groups. And so this is just what we were going over today. It was my note for me. So, but what I want to do is the key math idea for today is solving a system of equations. And again, I talked about this in the video, but I think an example would be good to get you started, to jog your memories, and to see if you have questions. So we want to solve this. And there's two ways. And the first way is what they call substitution. And that's you solve for one variable. And I'll go through that. And then the second is elimination. I'll go through that too. And that's where you you add the equations. And so I'm going to start this one using the substitution method. And then I look at those equations and I can substitute for either X or Y and plug it in. But I look here and the X is all by itself. So that's going to be very easy to solve for. So I'm going to take that equation and I'm going to solve for X. So I subtract 3y from each side. And I get X is equal to 9 minus 3y. So I'm going to call this equation 1 and this equation 2. So I have this information, and I'm going to circle that just so I have it and don't lose it. And I'm going to plug it in right here and solve for y. So I'm going to take equation 1, 2x minus 3y equal 2. I'm going to plug in 9 minus 3y for x. And if you have questions, just like interrupt. Like, what am I doing here? Something like that. And so then I distribute the 2. So I get 18 minus 6y minus 3y equals 2. I add the y's and I get 9y equaling 2. And then I'm going to get the y alone. So I'm going to subtract 18 from each side. And I get minus 9y is equal to minus 16. And then I just divide both sides by minus 9 to get the y alone. That cancels, and I get y is equal to 16 over 9. So I'm gonna mark that so I can find it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plug this in here for y. I'm sorry, or in here actually, and then I can just get my answer for x right away. So I know that x is equal to 9 minus 3y. I just showed that y is equal to 16 over 9. So I'm going to plug that in for y. And then I get x is equal to 9. Can cancel a 3 out of the bottom. I get minus 16 thirds. I'm going to find a common denominator. So I multiply 9 times 3 over 3. I get x is 27 thirds minus 16 thirds. And then the arithmetic says it's 11 thirds. So then my answer is 11 thirds for x and 16 ninths for y. Now, I'm not going to check it, but I could by plugging into either equation or both. Okay, so that's the substitution method. I substitute for x. Okay, so I'm going to do the same problem using elimination. And again, if you have questions about what I did, please interrupt. Just unmute yourself and talk. So I'm going to use substitution, elimination, and that's where I add the equations. And remember, I can add equals to equals. So since this is equal to this, and this is equal to this, I can add this to one side and 9 to that to the other side, and I'm really adding the same thing to both sides. It just has a different name. So I add the equations, the 3 y's cancel, and I get 3x equal 11, and then I get x is equal to 11/3. And that's what I had before. And so now I just find y by plugging that into either equation. I'm going to plug it into the second equation. So I do that. And then I'm going to, again, change 9 to 27/3. As I did before. Subtract 11/3 from each side. Y is equal to that. And then I just divide each side by 3, which is the same as multiplying by 1/3. Those cancel, and I get y is equal to 16/9, which is what I got before. So on the worksheet today, you have some problems that you have to solve. You can use either method, and then there's word problems, and those you'll need to set up the equations, and then again, you can solve by either method. So any questions on that? And then we'll get started with the class. With the group work. Okay. So Kate, oh, yeah, let me see. Okay. I'm going to answer a question. And the question was, even if here they match perfectly, and the question is, if that doesn't happen, can you still use elimination? And the answer is yes. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to use the same equation, and this is to prove a point. Let's say that I want to get rid of x instead of y. I can multiply this equation by 2, or actually by -2. -2 times x will be -2x, and that'll make these two things match. So that's the first equation. And then the second equation becomes -2x -6y, and then there should be a -2 over here. -18 is equal to -18. Now I add the equations. Those cancel. And I get -9y is equal to -16. And then as before, I multiply by -9. I divide by -9. I get y is 16/9. So yes, you can make them match just by multiplying both sides of the equation by the same thing. Okay, it looks like that answered the question. So other questions? Okay. So you should get the handout. It's posted in the handout section of the website, of the Blackboard site, handout number 4. I'll show you which one it is, just so you have it. Whoops, I almost left the meeting. I hit the wrong thing. Okay. So I want to share, I'm going to share the Chrome again and just switch tabs. And then if I'm over at the course site, if you go to handouts, it's the handout for today, handout number 4, the one that's highlighted. Oops, the one that's highlighted. Okay. So I'm going to form groups randomly like we usually do, and then I will Sam and I will visit the groups. Okay, any questions before I do that? So again, it's handout number 4 in the handout section. Sorry, I'm just typing this just so everybody has it. Okay, so I'm going to stop the share. I have a copy of the handout. And by the way, I will work on, I know I said I'd do solutions to these. I've got to, I will do that. I'll start with today and then I'll work backwards, but I'll do it for all other classes as we go forward. So you have the solutions. Okay, so let's see. We're going to use 9 rooms and we'll do it just as we've done it before. And again, it takes a minute to get apparated into your room. See, Mitch, it looks like you haven't joined yet. I'll put you in a room, probably room number, oh no, you should be in room, oh, there you go, good. Hello, just joining to check in.
Yeah, we were just going to work on it separately and then compare answers and ask questions if we had any questions.
Okay, good. And then I'll probably come back and ask you some questions. The first one, it's really based, you don't, it's sort of to try to get you to look at the thing visually. So it's just like an introduction into the problem. So you're looking at 2 equations separately, then look for a common solution. That's what the question's doing. But I'll be checking in from you from time to time.
I have one question for you.
Sure, Adam. Yeah.
Do you care if we use fractions or decimals, or does it not matter?
Well, WebAssign, in math, people like exact answers when possible. So if it's a simple fraction, like over 3, it's probably better to use that. If it's a big fraction, you can use a decimal. So I would say in general, use the fractions rather than decimals.
Okay.
Okay. If it's an exact answer, you can maybe do it in decimals and then convert it back to a fraction because it might be obvious what the fraction is. And if you have any questions about what I want, just ask.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Hello, I'm just kind of checking in on you to see how you're doing.
I think good so far.
And the sort of the introductory question that doesn't have a number, that's just to get you thinking about things, and it's having you look at 2 equations separately, then try to find the common solution.
Actually for 2, for that one, I don't know, it was just weird. So I plugged them into Desmos and
Right.
I got like their intersection point was like 2 decimals. Is that, I wasn't sure if I just did it wrong or.
Well, you want to try to solve these using algebra.
Right. Yeah. But because I was just, I thought I did it and I was just double checking that I actually solved them correctly because I was getting decimals. And so I just wasn't sure if, because all the other ones were solid numbers. So.
Well, it could be like if it's like, 1/3 or 2/3, it might give you an answer as a decimal. And I think that's what Desmos does.
Yeah. Okay.
So compare what you get with what Desmos gave you, and then we'll, then
Yeah.
we can get that.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks.
Great. Any other questions? I'll check back from time to time. I'm just checking in to see how you're doing. And then Stone, I had a question for you.
Yeah.
Well, I emailed the rep to see about, and you know, to see if they can extend it.
Yep.
I just did that right before class, and I don't know if I haven't heard back yet. And did the bookstore say when the book would come in?
No, they didn't. I can try to contact them again today and see if they can give me an actual time when it will. And then
I'll
let you
email them too. I wasn't aware, you know, that they were missing. So if we both do it, you know, it may not make a difference, but at least they know we're both checking, and that might get them to go faster. They're usually pretty good about this stuff.
Sounds good.
And maybe they can give you the code as well. So
Right.
I'll let you know when I hear back from the rep, the sales rep.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Yep. Okay. So I'm just checking in, of course, but the first question that doesn't really have a question with the graphs, it's to get you to look at two equations separately as separate equations and then look at them together and see what the common solution is and to see what it represents geometrically. Okay. So other questions? I'm going to just cycle through the groups, but I'll check in with you from time to time.
I'm good.
Okay. Other people?
I'm good.
Good. Well, Sam's here.
I'm all right.
Okay, good. Okay, Sam was here. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, see you in a bit. Hello, everyone. I'm just joining in to see if you have any questions.
No, none so far, just working through the problems.
Okay, and the first one, the introductory one, doesn't have a number. That's just to get you to look at the two equations separately as separate equations and then see how they fit together as a system of equations. That's what's going on there. Okay. Okie doke, I will cycle back through and see you later.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, divide by -3.
Divide by -3?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's so the answer is y equals -3 then.
Yeah, we can just plug it up.
Cool. And is that all we have to do, right? Just solve
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Yeah, plug it back in.
Oh yeah, to check it.
Which one are you talking about? Sorry to interrupt.
Oh no, you're good. We're on number 1, this one right here.
And you had y is equal to -3?
Yes.
And then what was x equal to?
Oh yeah, we need to do that.
1 second.
How do we do that again?
You can just plug the -3 and some y. I don't think it matters on which equation.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
No, it
So
doesn't.
x minus, I'm just gonna do it for equation 1. -3.
I got it. I got x is equal to -6.
Yeah, me too. X equals -6. Is that right?
-6, -3.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, yeah. And then our coordinates, yeah. Answer -6, -3. Cool.
So what did you get for y again?
-3.
Okay, yes, I thought, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so what do you get for x?
-6.
Okay,
Is that correct?
to me, yep, yep.
And then how do we, for checking it, we just plug in the x and the y for either equation, right?
Yeah, if you want to be, I think just one is enough.
Okay.
If you want to be super thorough and you have all the time in the world, then you can do both.
Okay.
Yeah, but usually like you use one equation to find it. I usually use the other equation. Like whatever one like I used the first one to find the solve for y, to find that x was equal to y minus 3.
Yeah.
I mean, see, then I would use like the other, I would use plug it in the second equation or something
Okay.
like that.
Professor,
Yeah.
can I check for number 2? Is number 2 x equals 2 over 11 and then y equals 17 over 11? Is that right?
Let's see if it works. You said
Yeah.
2 over 11, right? That
Yes.
gives me 6 over 11 plus 1. I'm just checking it on the first equation. So what do you get for y?
17 over 11.
That checks out with the first equation.
That checks out. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And again, I don't always know the answers because if I do, I tend to help too much and I want you to figure them out, but I'm happy to do what we just did there. You know,
Okay. Just making sure I'm doing it right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Sounds like you're doing those two okay. And again, the third one, if you want to go on to word problems and do the third one later, if you find, oh yeah, I got this, that's fine. It's up to you.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm gonna. Any more questions?
I don't think so.
I'm good for now. Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just
Okay, awesome. So 3-2.
Yeah.
Awesome. How are you doing, Taylor?
Good. I'm getting a little bit of help. I'm sorry. Yeah, good. I just finished 3 and I also got 3 and 2.
Okay.
Thank you.
So any questions? You're still on the first page?
I think we just finished the first page and now we're on to the word problems.
Okay, good. Yeah. I think yeah. Any questions? It sounds like you did that well, that you were figuring out pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
My quick question was, what are the business app and check app and WebAssign on the second page of this?
Okay. So what's your question about it?
Like, is that like necessary to complete this worksheet, or is that just like another thing that we should like get?
Well, I do want you to do the worksheet, and you said you noticed that was on WebAssign?
Well, it says WebAssign on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the second page it says add business app and check apps. In
Right.
WebAssign.
Right. That's okay. I mean, I'm sort of letting you know that you can. Oh, sorry, I didn't erase that. That was me. I made a note to myself, and I wanted to give you applications that were similar to the ones on WebAssign. And I thought I had erased that, but obviously I hadn't.
Oh, okay. I was a little confused.
No. That's fine. Yeah. No, I'll let other people know that. Thank you for pointing that out. I just wanted to make sure I had some examples that were similar to what you'll see on WebAssign.
Okay.
I just made it a reminder to myself. Okay. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Okay, doke. Any questions before I go?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, good. So I'll check in and see you all later.
Awesome, thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Hello. Just checking in to see where you are and if you have any questions.
Yeah, we're working alone and then we're gonna come back together and see what we got, but I'm not done.
Yeah, that's fine. People are like, last group I had just had started the second page, and that's fine. I made a note on top of the second page to myself. It says add, so, you know, I was making a note to remind myself to add questions that were similar to WebAssign questions. And you can ignore that. I just forgot to remove the note.
Sounds good.
So just don't let, somebody was confused by that, and it was just a note to me, and I apologize for leaving it. Okay, if you have questions about it, don't hesitate to ask each other, or you can always ping me and I'll get around. I'll come back and can answer a question.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, bye-bye. Hello, I'm just checking in to see how people are doing.
I do have a question. Sure. So I've worked through and then gone back to this one. On the first problem where it's 4x plus 2y equals negative 10.
Uh-huh.
I'm having a hard time working out the chart.
Okay, so you just pick an x value, like x equals 0.
Okay.
And then you get, if you do x equals 0, then you're going to get 2y equals minus 10.
Okay.
Then you can solve for y.
Okay, so y would be negative 5.
Yeah. And you don't need to get a lot of points. You can just get a 2 or 3 for each. And the idea is to look at the solution, look at these separately as equations, and then look at them together as a system of equations.
Okay. So for like my actual, like I reordered the equations so it would be in the correct format. I got y equals negative 5 minus 2x. Is that where I'm going wrong, or?
No.
That's
And that's perfectly okay. You said you got y equals minus 5 minus 2x?
Yes.
Yeah, that's perfectly okay.
Okay.
You can just graph that. You can just graph it that way. The idea is to compare like solutions for each line and then define the one that works on both lines. That's kind of the idea of that problem.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then if you're on page, just turn to page 2. In the upper right, I said add business app and check with WebAssign. That was a note to myself to check against WebAssign and to give you some problems that were similar to what's going to be on WebAssign.
Okay.
You can. I just forgot to erase that note to myself, so you can ignore it.
I do have one question about this one. So when I
Sure.
set it up for my 2 equations, I had the total number of people for the x plus y equation and
Right.
the total dollar amount for the 4x plus 8y. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
You don't have to. You don't have to use a chart. I just did that as a way to help organize info. You don't have to do it that way at all.
I liked it on the second one though because it helped me, like I had to go back to it to check.
Uh-huh. And so it's just a way to sort of see what's going on, and some people find that helpful.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I think I'm good on questions.
Okay. So Matthew or Spencer, any questions?
Yeah, I was just going to ask if you could really quickly solve number 2 on page 1.
Sure. I'm going to have to go on
Or if you like know the answers, or if you know X and Y off the top of your head. I just wanted to double check because I wasn't too sure.
This one here, it's like a fraction.
Yeah, that's what I was getting.
Did anybody solve that?
Yeah, I got 2 over 11 comma 17 over 11.
That's correct.
Okay. That's what I got.
That one was weird.
Yeah.
And one thing to keep in mind is that WebAssign, in math generally, you like an exact answer rather than a decimal answer. Well, applications, it's not quite so as crucial. So since 11 is what it is, usually the WebAssign might want that answer in terms of something over 11. But you can always compare that answer to the decimal answer in your calculator and see if it matches.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I have one more question, and this one's on 3. This is one I just started. It's on the application problems.
Yeah.
So it talks about equilibrium point of supply and demand. So are the supply and demand numbers supposed to match?
You're going to find the point where they match. So in other words, you have a price for, for the supply, and then you have another price based on demand.
Okay.
So like so
like a coordinate point.
Right. And so P, you're going to find where the price matches. So what number do you have to sell it to so you get the same price for supply as you do for demand?
Oh, okay.
And you can even shortcut that because you have 2 equations equal to P. So what can you do to those 2 equations?
Make them equal to each other.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So that's really nice. If you have it solved in terms of one variable, you can just set them equal. Okay, other questions? Okay, I'll be back, and you can always ping me if you have a question.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Minus y equals -3, right? And then x minus y equals -3. I subtract the x's, and then you have -y equals -x minus 3, and I just multiplied both sides by -1, which gave me y equals x plus 3. And then
But don't we have to solve it all the way to a number?
no, I don't think so. I think then you use the second problem and plug in x plus 3 into y. So then for the second problem, you have -x minus 2 times x plus 3 equals 12. Is that right?
Yeah, which problem are you on?
Number 1.
Number 1, yeah, you get like, the way I did it, I first got x is equal to y minus 3. Is that what you did? Or did you do it, how did you do it?
Okay, so number 1, I was just reading the steps from the book.
Right.
So for number 1, you have, let's take the top equation, x minus y equals -3. I subtracted x from both sides, and then I got -y equals -x minus 3, and then I multiplied both sides by -1, which gave me y equals x plus 3.
Yeah, that's correct.
And then for the bottom equation, I have -x minus 2, and then I plugged in x plus 3. Which equals 12, which gave me -x minus 2x minus 6 equals 12. Then I got -3x minus 6 equals 12. Added 6 on both sides, ultimately giving me x equals -6. So my answer is x is -6 and y is -3.
Yes, that's correct.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Was there a question about how to do it that way, or do?
There might be a few people.
No, I think I
confused.
did it wrong.
Okay. Does it make sense what David was saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. By the way, on the page 2, I made a note to myself to make sure that we had questions that were similar to WebAssign and also a business application. And I forgot to take the note up. It's in the upper right-hand corner. So it says add business app. You can just ignore that and cross that out. I just forgot to remove it.
Okay.
Okay. So don't let the, somebody got confused by that and thought I wanted something, but I just made a note to myself and forgot to get rid of it. Okay, doke. I'll be back to check in. Somebody had a question from another room, but if somebody has a question, I'll stay. Okay, so I'll be back.
Good.
Okay, I'll be back.
Thank you.
Okay, talk to you soon. Yep, bye-bye.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Yep, bye-bye. Hey, Thomas. So you had a question? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it's on problem number 3 on the second page.
Okay. Yeah.
So what are the equations going to look like for this?
Okay, so I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm confused, like what it's asking and
okay, and you're talking about the
what the layout's going to be.
Right, the mixture problem?
Yeah.
Okay. So the idea is I started in the table, and what you need to do is that you need to mix them so that they give you the same percentage of the same solution, the same percentage. And so you need 6 liters. And so you're going to use a certain amount of the first solution, and I'm calling that X. And then you're going to use a certain amount, we don't know it yet, of the second solution, and I know that that's going to be Y. So if I look in that column, liters of solution, I get the equation X plus Y is equal to 6.
Yeah.
Okay, then I do something similar in the second equation. So I don't know how much, the idea is I'm going to multiply, I want to find out, like, it's an equivalent of pure. So like I'm going to multiply the number of gallons or the number of liters, X times the concentration, 0.01. And then I'm going to do the same thing with Y. So I'm going to have Y times 0.05. And then the last one I'm going to have 6 times 0.4. So that gives me a second equation. It's going to be 0.1x plus 0.5y is equal to 6 times 0.4.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes more sense. Thank you.
Yeah, and what you're doing is it's when you multiply, let's say that x is equal to 4. If you have 0.1, that's the same as having 0.4 of 100%. So it's just a way of, and what we want is we want 6 times 0.4, you know. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Good. Other questions? Hello again, just checking in.
Yeah, I'm almost done. I'm working on the one with the plane and the wind speed.
Yeah. Okay. Is it making sense to you? Or do you have a question?
Mostly.
Yeah.
I have problems with word problems, so it's just trying to get used to them and everything. But so far, I think I'm on the right path.
Everybody does. They're hard. And partially it's because they could mean different things to different people. Sometimes people interpret it in a way that's consistent with the language, doesn't match what was intended. So sometimes that happens, but they're generally harder than math. I mean, than just doing an equation.
Right.
So, yeah.
I'm just comparing it to the example from the notes videos and
exactly. Yeah.
just going off of there.
Exactly. Yeah. See if that works for you. And if it doesn't, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Yeah.
Okay, Adam or Isaac, do you have any questions?
No, I'm just on the word problems myself.
And you're working
Yeah,
separately and asking each other questions, then comparing when you're done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Okay, good. So let me know if you have a question. Otherwise, I'll see you again later.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Isaac, where are you on the problems?
I'm on the one with the supply and demand price.
That's the one I'm on too.
Okay, good. They're making sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a shortcut for that problem. Can you figure out what it is? And maybe you already did it. You can just set, since they're both wanting P, you can just set the two equal and solve for X. Maybe that's what you were doing. I don't know, but it's.
I did not think of it that way.
Yeah, whatever way works is fine, but I just wanted to point that out that you can, since they both want to find P, you can set the two, since they're both equal to P, you can set them equal and solve for X. Okay. So okay, someone's asking me a question, so I'm going to go join them and then I'll see you. I'll be back and check in.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm on number 3 on page 3.
Hi, Sammy. So you had a question?
Oh. Yes, I had a question on number 5. It's the one about the airplane speed.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I am not sure how to go about doing it in terms of like the equation because it doesn't give me another like total to go off of.
Okay, it's similar to the one that was in the video, so it's going to set up similar. So I'll be happy to walk through that. Okay, so you know that each plane flies 800 miles, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then you need to figure out what the wind speed is. Okay. So for example, if you look at the first one.
Professor, I can't see what you're writing down.
No, I'm not writing. I'm just reading off it, but I'm gonna.
Oh, you're reading off of it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see what they're asking. So what I do is you want to find the wind speed. So call that one thing. I'll use the. I can't share the document camera in here, so I'll use the whiteboard. And if anybody wants to chime in, please do. Okay. Okay. So let me just move this out of the way. Okay. So we got, I'm going to call R1 is equal to the speed of the, is equal to the normal speed of the plane. Oops, sorry.
You're good.
And then R2 is going to be equal to wind speed. Okay. So what we know is that when the plane is going, which direction is with the wind?
Would that be the wind speed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So which direction has the tailwind?
The flight from Austin to Atlanta, the
Let's
2
see.
hour flight.
The flight from Austin to Atlanta took 2 hours. Yeah.
Mhm.
So when you go this direction, I know that Austin and Atlanta, I'm going to say A for Austin and then ATL for Atlanta. The plane is flying with its speed, and that's going to be R1 plus R2. Like when you have a wind at your back, you notice if you're walking, you can walk a little bit. It's helping you a little bit.
Yeah.
It's the same concept. And then when you come back, it's going to be the opposite. The plane is flying into the wind. So it's like walking into a strong wind, you walk slower. So that's actually the R1 is the, is the speed of the plane under normal conditions.
Okay.
But of course, the travel is going to be faster with the wind at your back and slower. And so what's the distance between the two places, Atlanta and Austin?
The distance is 800 miles.
Right, so this is going to be 800. Okay. Okay. And we want to figure out two equations. So how long does it take to go the quick way? How many hours?
Just 2 hours. 2 hours flat.
And how about going the slow way?
2.5 hours.
Okay, so 2.5. So speed is equal to distance over time, right? Miles per hour. That's a distance over time. And then times t, what happens when you multiply speed times time? These t's cancel.
Oh, okay.
So like if you're going 60 miles an hour for 2 hours, you go 120 miles. So in the first direction, we're going to get the speed is, sorry, the time is 2 and the speed is R1 plus R2. And it just takes 2 hours, right? And what's that equal to? What's the distance?
800.
Right. And then you set up the second equation similarly. Instead of R1, what's plus 2? What's it going to be over here?
It's 2 plus 2.5.
Well, it's 2.5. And then how about R1 and R2? How do they relate?
Oh.
Again, the plane is going.
So it'd be R1 minus R2.
Yes. And that's it. Now you have your two equations and two unknowns. And now you can, that's also, and what's that equal to since it's the same distance?
800.
Yeah. And now you can solve it. Anytime you have two equations with two unknowns, you have enough information to solve it. So just distribute the two and then solve, then solve it as you would any system of equations.
Okay.
Okay. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay. Good. So somebody in another room had a question, so I'm gonna head to that room.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So let me stop the share. So, okay. Hi, Sam. I saw that you had a question. Sorry, I was with another student.
Are you talking to me, Sam?
Yeah, I said Sam Jensen had a question.
Oh, well, that's kind of weird. I don't think I had a question.
Okay, that's all right.
I have a question real quick for you. Did you say that if you were gonna post like an answer key
Yeah.
for this?
Yeah, I will.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I was just making sure I heard that right.
And where are you in the process right now? Like what number?
We're kind of all over.
Yeah.
3, 4, and 6. No. Well, there's 2 3s, I guess.
I think we're going to work. This is a long one, and we don't have much to do on Thursday, so I'm going to end at 1:45, and then I'm going to let people. We'll start here on Thursday, and then we'll go to the new material after that. It won't be as long as this. So that way we can end at 1:45. And if you have questions and want to stick around, that's fine. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I have a question in another room, so I'm going to go join that. Unless if somebody.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hi, Sydney. I saw that you had a question.
Actually, no, everybody is done in our group.
Oh, okay, good. So I'm just going to go over a couple of things. So did you get? I'll post the answers, but did you have? What did you find like for number 3? What was the equilibrium price?
Number 3
The second number 3. Sorry, I know there's 2 number 3s. Number 3 on page 3, not page 2. Sorry about that.
Hold on, sorry, I closed out of my document.
Or somebody else can answer it too. It doesn't have to be you. It could be Kristen or Sam or Stone.
If y'all want to hop in, I gotta log back into the site I was using. Sorry.
All right.
I wrote it down wrong, so I need to redo it.
Okay. Now I got 85 for the price, and then the number sold I think was 500. I just was double checking, see how you did it. So questions for the other ones?
Oh, I had like one question. The one, it was the earlier one. So it was on the first page, the very first page.
Yeah.
My question was, it was like number 2.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was number 2. There's like, I got like a fraction.
Yeah, like something over. Oops, she cut out. Must have got kicked off or something. So if she comes back on, just have her ping me.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it should be something over 11. I have to just look real quickly.
I got 6 over 11.
Yeah, and then what was the other one?
Read my handwriting here.
I have that very same problem. I have it written down. I got 17. Wait, no, that's a different one. I think I got 2 over 11 and 17 over 11. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay. So you said you're all done pretty much?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, good. I was going to give some people time to work on this on Wednesday, I think. I'm going to go check the other group. I mean, Thursday. I'm going to go see where other people are. That looks like you made good progress. Okay. So I'll just say goodbye then if you're done, because then you can just sort of take off when you polish things and finish.
Sounds good.
Okay. Bye, Stone. Bye, Kristen.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm just checking in to see where you all are.
I have most of it done. I think most of us do.
Because I was probably going to start off Wednesday with letting people work on this that didn't finish it. And then if you're done, then when you come in Thursday, I mean, you can either help people if they're still working on it, or you can work on the other sheet depending on what groups you're in. Okay. So anybody else have questions? Okay. So you're free to go then when you go. I'm going to just go and talk to the other groups. And if you have questions or want to stick around to ask a question, I'll see you, in the class, and then you can talk.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Alexander.
You're welcome. Take care, Henry. Take care, Susie. Bye.
Yeah, have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm just checking in to see where people are. See what problem you're working on.
I'm just finishing up.
Okay. So if you're finishing it up, I'm probably going to start class with letting people work on this a little bit more, because some people might need it. And then you can just, either help them if you're in a group with people that are still working on it, or start the next one. Okay. Okay. So if you have questions, want to stick around, even though I'm going to end class in a couple of minutes. I'll just stick around, and when I come back to the class, I can answer any questions that you have. Otherwise, I'll see you all on Thursday.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Quick, and I don't know. Okay, Professor, I have a situation that I need to talk to you about. Is there any way that we can talk about it individual?
Yeah, why don't we wait until I'm going to go back and look at the breakout rooms and see what's going on. And then, if you could just stick around for a few minutes, then after I do that, I can talk.
Okay, I just have a doctor's appointment at like 10 to 15. So I was kind of.
If you have something that you need to leave it now, then by all means, go ahead. You don't need to check with me for that.
Yeah, no, not just that. It's something else. Like I had someone tell me to tell you, because it's really bad. I mean, I'm not afraid to say it in front of other people, but I kind of so I've had some issues with my roommate where she has been treating me like crap, and so I've been in this emotional mental breakdown. So I finally, the reason I emailed you, and I didn't want to be rude while emailing, I've just been right. I haven't been able to understand anything because I've been in that mental breakdown because of her. So I wanted to let you know that the reason why I have been off and not really being able to do anything is because of that. I got a D on my web assign because I was trying so hard, but also while in that mental situation.
Right.
And I finally just went up to Sarah, and she told me to talk to you.
Okay. And I'm going to put you in breakout. I think we should talk separately. So I'm going to put you in breakout room 1 because nobody's in there, and we'll go there. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're private in here.
Okay. So
Sarah.
my roommate has been, I'm not gonna go into details, but she has been telling me that I'm stupid, that I can't do anything right. And so I have been, and it's just a whole lot of mental things. So I have been trying to fix it with her because I don't know what's wrong. And I finally just gave up. And so I went to my RA and was like, I need to move rooms. immediately because I can't focus on my schoolwork and I can't focus on anything because I can't like focus because of her. And I finally just talked to Sarah, my supervisor over the hall, and she told me that I found a new person to be my roommate. So I'm actually in the new room right now, but I haven't exactly moved rooms yet. And so I just wanted to let you know that I am trying to transition. So if I'm like late to class or like I'm not really doing well, it is because of that. And I would really like, and I just wanted to let you know that it's not just me not trying or me not trying. It's because of that.
Okay. Well, Cece, I think I would like to talk with you a little bit more outside of class because I need to get back in case there's,
Yeah, totally. Definitely.
And you can, I mean, I'm going to be free till about 4:30 today. So if you want to get in touch, email me when you're back from the doctor's appointment, if that works for you. Otherwise, we'll find another time. But I totally, just the short of it is I understand, and I'm really glad you told me, and we'll, as you transition, I'll definitely keep that in mind, and we can make any adjustments that we need to make. I'm also going to offer an extra WebAssign at the end of the semester for review. I was just going to have it for review, but I'm going to have it that people can substitute it for an early one. So that actually will mean the equivalent of being able to drop 3 WebAssigns. So I think you'll be okay for that one.
Okay, thank you. I just didn't want to start off with like
Yeah.
a D in the class and you're like, I don't think she's trying, or I don't know if something's going on. I just wanted to let you know because communication is key in everything. And actually my doctor just emailed me and was like, yo, we just had an emergency. I can't make it. So so I can wait if you need me to.
No, I'm going to leave it up to you. I'll leave that up to you. I mean, I think I get the situation, and I just wanted to let you know that I'll definitely we can work through this. And I didn't think that you were stupid or anything, but I'm very happy. I'm not happy that you had the problem, but I'm happy that you let me know that you were having a problem.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad I chose Drake. The professors are just amazing.
I'm glad to hear you say that. So, okay, so it would be a good idea to talk about the class sometime, but so just get in touch and we'll figure out a time to meet.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Cece, and good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
And that was it, and everyone's been negative otherwise.
Sorry,
Yeah.
privately, I can come back.
Kind of strayed from
Okay,
the
so
handle of it, but we're working on the second page of it.
I'm going to end class and let people begin class working on this on Thursday because I want to make up for the class that I give for the video. So I'm trying to end at about 10 of.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
There'll be different groups, and so you might be working with somebody that already did it, but they can help you. Okay.
Okay.
So you can continue to talk if you want. That's fine. And then okay. But I'll see you on Thursday. Okay.
Yep. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, Spencer, I saw that you pinged. You all done?
Yeah, we're all good.
Okay, good. Well, have a good day. And then we may start working on this for people that need it on Thursday, but we'll see where people are.
All right.
Some of the groups are slower than the other ones, but we'll just see what happens. Have a good couple days, and I'll see you all on Thursday. Okay.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Works was 10y equals 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then when I plugged it in, I got some weird answers. Like, tell me what you get after it, but it doesn't fit when I try to plug it back in.
Which one are you working on? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Number 6.
Okay. Are you working through the question?
Yeah. We think that the equation may be x plus y equals 60, and then 4x plus 10y equals 8.
Yes. Okay. So you want to do 60 pounds at $8. And then you have 4 and 10. So it's going to be, it's similar to the chemistry problem. So you'll have like X at the $4 and then Y times the $10 is going to be equal to the same as doing 8 times 60, and then X plus Y is going to be 60.
Oh my goodness, that makes more sense.
Is that what you got?
Okay, how do we know?
I can write that down too. Let's go to the whiteboard. Okay.
How do I know that I'm supposed to, like when I look at this, how do I know I'm supposed to multiply the 8 by 60?
Okay. So basically we're going to have X is going to be, I'm going to put a little 4 to represent that it's $4, $4 a pound coffee. And then you're going to have Y pounds of the $10 coffee. And I'm just putting a 10 down. I'm 10 down there just so we know which is which. And how many total pounds?
60.
Right. Yeah.
60.
Right. And so the idea is going to be that like in order to get the right blend, we're going to have to use a certain amount of pounds of the 60 coffee. The 40 coffee. So, sorry, of the $4 coffee. And we're going to have to use the same pounds of the $10 coffee. It's supposed to be a Y, sorry, I'll do that. And then that's going to be the same as having 60 pounds of the $8 coffee. And so it's similar to those other problems we did, but does that help, or did you have a question about how I figured that out? I'll be happy to go through it.
I just don't know, like, when I thought through this problem, like, in the future, how am I supposed to know that I'm supposed to multiply the 8 by 60, like, for the second equation?
Okay.
Like,
the idea is that I'm trying to say it this way is that it's just going to be the total, like, notice like here how we're multiplying the price times the amount.
mm-hmm.
It's the same idea here. It's the price times the amount.
Okay.
And so when you set up a problem like this, we're saying that if we mix, $4 coffee at so many pounds of that, and like if we needed like let's say we needed $7 coffee,
mm-hmm.
and we had 1 pound of the $4 plus 1 pound of the 10, that would be 2 pounds of coffee, right? But what's the average between 10 and 4? That would be the same as 2 pounds of 7. So I think of this as the coffee units right here.
Mm-hmm.
Pounds times what the amount is. Pounds times what the amount is equal to the total pounds times the amount that you want.
Okay, I think I get it.
Yeah. And I can check back in. A group just pinged me. So does that get you enough to get started on that?
Yeah, I think I finished.
Yeah. And the way that I figured out, if it was $4 and $10 and I just wanted to get $7 coffee, 1 $4 coffee, 1 $10 coffee, that's the same as having 2 $7 coffees because it's the average. So here it's not so clean. So you have to have more of this to get it closer to the $8 and less of that. I think it's how it's going to end up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're free to go if before I get back, I was going to try to check back again, but I'll see you. So I don't see you till
Thank you.
Thursday. And if you have questions, stick around. I'll still be in the classroom for like another 20 minutes, 15 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you for being patient. Oops, wait, what happened? Oh, are you still there?
Yeah, we're still here.
Yes.
My screen moved, not you. What did I do? Thank you for being patient. Are you done?
Yes.
You just let me know you were done. Yeah, so, okay. I was helping another student with a problem, and so I wanted to finish. And so you're free to go.
Thank you.
All right.
I'll see you
Have a
Tuesday.
good day, Professor.
See you Thursday. Today's Tuesday. You have a good day, too. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Just seeing how you all are doing.
How do you set up number 5 in the word problems?
Okay. Here's what you do. So this is similar to the one that was in the video, but I'll go through the idea. So I'm going to put A over here for Austin and then ATL for Atlanta.
Okay.
Okay. And the idea is like, you've probably noticed this, if you walk against the wind, it takes more effort. If you walk with the wind on your back, you go a little faster. And so it's the same idea. Same idea here. We have a plane that's going as they go from, which way is the fast direction? Is it from Atlanta to Austin or the other way around?
It's Austin to Atlanta is faster.
And that takes 2 hours, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then when we go from Atlanta, it's slower to Austin. And how long does that take?
2.5 hours.
Okay. Now, I'm going to say R1 is the speed of the plane, and that's going to be when there's no wind or anything. And then R2 is the speed of the wind.
Okay.
Now, when you've got the wind behind your back, it's how fast you're walking, and the wind is just pushing you just a little bit. So you're going to have more speed going, and it's slower, so that makes sense. I mean, it's faster going this direction. So your speed is going to be the speed of the plane plus the wind pushing it. And then what would be the speed when you're going against the wind? You have the plane is going, but what's happening? Is the plane going slower since it's going into the wind or faster?
It's going slower.
Yeah, so you're going to subtract the wind speed because that's pushing it back whatever the speed of the wind is. Okay. Now, if you have speed times time, this is going to be the key. What does that equal? And remember, speed is going to be equal to distance over time times the time. Another way to think about this, if you travel 60 miles an hour for 2 hours, how far did you go?
60 miles an hour for 2 hours, 120 miles.
Yeah, you're canceling the time. Notice that your answer has no time dimensions in it.
Yeah.
So it's the same idea here. The speed times the time equals the distance.
Okay.
And our distance is 800 between the two places. So the first equation is going to be plane plus the wind times 2. Distance, I'm sorry, speed times time. And what does that equal?
Distance. So it's the 800 miles.
And what's the second equation going to be?
Is it going to be like P minus W times 2.5 equals 800?
Exactly.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay. Does that help?
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to set it up.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah, thanks for that.
yeah. It's hard. Word problems are hard. Okay, and I was going to give people a little bit of time to finish up on this on Thursday if they wanted it, but you could finish up now or finish up on Thursday. It's up to you. It's about 2:00, and so class time ends at 2:10. I'm trying to get people out early, so I'll leave it up to you what you want to do. Or you can look at the solutions too. You know, I'm going to